Hey, everybody, welcome to the Global Porch Podcast. I'm your host with my co host, Aaron Syme, and we're just bringing you um, a different perspective on life, spirituality, the news, travel, adventure. Real quick, I'll tell you just a little bit about myself, then I'll pass it over to my buddy Aaron. My name is Brian Oakland, 53 years old, born and raised in Montana. And I've lived a very, very unique life, and one that I feel, could lend itself to a lot of different perspectives out there. As you get to know me through the podcast, um, you'll hear more and more of my story. But essentially, um, I had a great upbringing. I just ended up with some issues with drug and alcohol abuse, which I've been sober now for over 18 years, going on 19. But it's a huge part of my story and a huge part of my enlightenment and my journey through life. So, one of the cool things about doing this podcast is I live in the United States and I travel all over the world. I own a couple companies. The main one is a fishing adventure company where we book fishing adventures for people that are looking to travel around the world and just making sure they're on the best trip. So, not only in the United States do I actually live out of my truck and camper, which you'll see, um, but I also travel around the world to really unique places: Christmas Island, Argentina, Mexico, you name it. A lot of really, really cool places. And I'll let Aaron tell you his story because he's in a completely different country than I am, and he also does a lot of travel. So that's where that travel aspect comes from. We also are both sober and have a lot of sobriety underneath us. We also had really, really rocky journeys that got us to sobriety that kind of tie into this whole thing. So that's a little bit about me. I'm really excited about this podcast because, there's a ton of podcasts out there, and I think that there's a lot of really good ones. And what we're going to try to do is just keep this simple, and just bring you guys some humor. Like I said, also talk about challenges that come up in life and how to persevere through them. Because you'll see that Aaron and I live some pretty unique lives. And in my opinion, I'll let him speak for himself, but in my opinion, the life that I have, it literally comes from the journey that I've taken. And so that's just kind of why we've decided to do this podcast, is to tell you a little bit about our journey, because I guarantee you're on a very similar journey in life, have very similar questions and very similar things that you're trying to overcome. And then also the other side of it is the life that we are living because of sobriety. And it's exceptional. So I'm going to turn it over to my buddy Aaron. Aaron, tell us about you.
Yeah, my name is Aaron, and goodness, man, I'm coming up on about a month away. Will be 7 years. No itch, 7 years sober. So that's pretty remarkable.
That is.
I'm very fortunate in my that I don't really suffer from a lot of cravings, or even if I'm around it. Like as you'll learn more, I was a server in Las Vegas for over a decade, and a pretty nice restaurant, and we served a lot of wine, and that's probably the one drink that I miss the most, because I like a nice glass of red, or did, with steak. But nonetheless, yeah, I got 7 years, and thankful for it every day. It's an important aspect in my life. I get offered it quite a bit, and it's just easy. Nope, I'm sober. Um, it's a pretty good stop method, and like I say, 99.9 respect it, and almost probably envy it. But anyhow, yeah, I grew up. I grew up in Montana. I wasn't born in Montana. I grew up in Montana. Went to school there, high school there, and Hamilton, and then met you right after. Uh, I
High
think my
school.
senior summer. Yeah, my senior summer. Yeah, and then we've just been kicking it ever since. Lived together. Lived in different countries and different states and all that, and we always maintained contact, even when I was kind of in my alcohol state and you were sober. Um, still hung out and did our things, and you'd find your exit when it got time, and I have that too. I have friends that come visit me, and right now I'm in Bali, Indonesia, but I have friends that come visit me, and I know when it's time, and they're going to be drinking, and so I'll go hang out with them, and then it gets to that point, and it's always nice because I'm like, you're free flowing, and you're not have a care in the world, and now it's time for me to exit, and they don't usually have a problem with that at that point. Prior to that, nobody likes to be alone, starting the drinking and such. So anyhow, yeah, it hasn't been a problem, and I always have options if it does become a problem. I always check to know that there are meetings. There are meetings here in Sanur. Even I'm in Sanur, Bali. Dipensar is where you fly into, but it's just a suburb of Dipensar. But yeah, and I stay 2-month visa here, and then I go Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, Cambodia. This time I'm going back to Thailand again because I have a couple friends that are going to meet up there during my next visit, and then I'll come back here because I've really taken a liking to this surfing culture, and so a lot better surfing here than in Thailand, and yeah, so that's a little bit about me, and it's December. We got the holidays coming up, and you'll learn more about our jobs and our kids and our families, and during that. But that's just a brief introduction on me, and yeah, we'll go along with Brian. What you got planned for the holidays? Anything spectacular? Anything fun?
No, no,
No.
no. I'll be spending Christmas alone actually this year again.
Yeah, me
Uh,
too.
yeah, which I never mind. But I'll be
Yeah,
spending
it's
Christmas
fun. I
alone.
don't care.
Probably gonna go steelhead fishing. I'll spend a little time with my boy today and tomorrow. Who's in town. But yeah, they'll spend Christmas with their mom.
Yeah. Well, it gets to the point where they're at that age where it's, I mean, my son's 30, 32 now, 33 maybe. And yeah, he's the same. It's not the same anymore. It's not like we're 10 years old, and our kids are older, and they don't care. They don't care.
No.
They're doing their thing, and yeah, I'm gonna have a nice dinner. There's a holiday dinner at one of the restaurants here that I looked into going to. It's pricey for Indonesia style, but whatever. It's one time
What,
a year.
$10?
So I'll just have. No, it's like 30.
Whoa.
Yeah, but I think it's a buffet, and they'll have like all the beef comes from Australia, so they got really good beef, and then the Wagyu from Japan, so they'll have all of that. It's a steakhouse, so they'll have. It'll be pretty nice, yeah. But so that's like $100 a head in America,
Or more.
30, yeah, or more, yeah, because you can get a nasi goreng for which is fried rice, fried egg, and either chicken, pork, or shrimp for $2. So you could conceivably live. I was just watching this YouTube today. You could conceivably live on $15-$20 a week for food.
So I went to work at a coffee cafe yesterday because I just needed to get out of the truck and bang some stuff out. And I walked in with this cup to be refilled. So they're not even asking for their paper cup or lid. At $4. $4 for a 16-ounce drip. Not an Americana. No syrups, no nothing. Just a black cup of coffee. She wanted $4. And then she flips the screen on me and wants a tip. So, of course, I'm going to...
Oh, sure.
The options are $1, $2, and $3. So the minimum that I can tip her is 25%. So, of course, I do it because I'm a sucker. and I just paid $5 for a black cup of coffee. That's the difference in here in America versus over there. $5.
Yeah.
Now I
Yeah, I get a
justified it because I'm
cappuccino.
using their internet and I'm using some space and a seat and everything, and it's convenient. It's nice, but $5 for a black cup of coffee. It's bullshit.
Wow, yeah, mine's about $2 for a cappuccino or a latte or something like that. And they have some really good. They have some really good local beans here. So I mean, the coffee's good. In Vietnam, the coffee's really strong and it's good also. But on the cheap. Right now it's rainy season, so today I didn't even leave the house. I just messed around on working on some content and stuff that I'll probably be posting to our YouTube, some shorts and stuff to the Global Porch Podcast. Uh, that's our YouTube.
To
I'll
give
have to
people an
figure it out.
idea, what time is it where you're at?
Right now it is 11:49 p.m.
It's 8 in the evening, p.m. Yeah, it's 8:49 a.m. in Idaho. So it's my morning.
Right.
I'm starting my day, and Aaron is finishing his up.
Yeah, in 11 minutes, it's going to be Thursday the 19th. And you're just starting Wednesday
My
the 18th.
Wednesday the 18th.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I get to celebrate Christmas before you, so I know where
And
I
New
get to
Year's.
Christmas before you do. Yeah.
You'll be
New
in
Year's.
2025 before me.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be ringing it in. I'll let you know what it's like
Dude,
because it might be a bumpy one. We'll see how it starts out.
that was nice. You've always been able to let me know what's going on prior to me actually, you know, witnessing and
Knowing.
experiencing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the leader. I'm a leader.
You are.
So Christmas, we're both kind of doing our own thing, and to me, I've spent I don't know a myriad of Christmases, and I typically work. Like that's a long work day for me. I'm usually in. I for many years worked in a restaurant in Las Vegas, and I was in 1 in the afternoon and not out till midnight. So yeah.
I'm usually spending
Busy
Christmas alone because someone's mad at me. Typically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, take a look at that.
I am.
Why are they mad at you? Nobody. Your kids aren't mad at you.
No. Not today.
Well, that's good. So what's your plans for this week? Anything good coming on? I know you did that. You did a little Trouts Unlimited. What was it? A luncheon or something or what?
Just a talk that I did in the evening for the club.
Like a TED Talk?
Like a TED Talk, yeah. About adventure
Alright.
travel. How to prepare for
Yeah.
adventure travel.
Excellent. Why don't you tell us? Because I'm going to collaborate with you a little bit on this. Making some phone calls to the public and such. But why don't you talk a little bit about Got Fishing and just give us a brief rundown of what it's all about? And that's your baby, I know that. Kind of some of the ventures that you've been on recently.
So Got Fishing is a booking agency for fishing adventures around the world. Our sole goal is to make sure that you're on the perfect adventure, the one that fits your budget, skill set, desired location, and just make sure that your hard-earned money, because these adventures are thousands of dollars, that you're spending your money in on an adventure that's going to fit your desires, and we try to eliminate the disappointments. And that's our goal. Every single thing that we do for the angler or the adventurer is 100% free. The outfitter takes care of us on the back end. So there's really no reason for people that are looking to explore these different areas, both hunting and fishing, that they don't use us. Because again, everything that we do is 100% free. And so, yeah, I also host trips. I host about 3 to 5 trips a year. I have one coming up here in February where I'll be going to Argentina for close to a month. I'm taking 12 people to a very remote fishery in southern Argentina called Jurassic Lake, chasing giant rainbows. Then we'll move up into the Patagonia region. I have another 7 clients coming in, new clients for that trip. And we're just fishing, unbelievable waters in the Patagonia region. So it's incredible. And then I'm actually going over solo to a stag hunting ranch. And I'm going to hunt stag and do some photography and videography of a stag ranch that we carry. Because although primarily we do fishing adventures, we also have a few very unique and exceptional hunts that we also bring on as well. So, yeah, I'll be over in Argentina from about the 13th of February through middle of March. And so, yeah, within 48 hours of getting back, I got a group here in the United States. We're going over to a place called Pyramid Lake, which is one of kind of our local adventure places. Very unique fishery on an Indian reservation over in Nevada. And so once January and February, March hit, I got trade shows, adventures in other countries. Things begin to take off for sure. So that's a little bit about I've got fishing. I also am a part owner in a gear company called Adamsville Fishing Gear, where we supply waders, boots, jackets, rods, reels, nets, you name it. So we provide adventures and we provide the gear for adventures. That's a little bit what I do.
Awesome. So we got to, at some point, figure out some way to, other than just verbalizing the website, which is www.gotfishing.com, and then adamsbuiltfishing.com, just like it's spelled, it's just like it said. So, yeah, we got to get those, get these people taking a look at your website, and you do a lot of cool fishing trips, and I think that's pretty cool. Keeps you busy for sure. So I don't know when this is going to actually go live, because now we're talking, this is the before Christmas, but from what I've been reading, just to get onto the Apple Podcasts and Spotify takes a little bit of time, because I gotta review your stuff, and who knows how far behind they are on that. But nonetheless, we're going to get this out there and get it going and go from there. So, like I said, we'll have to figure out how to put some links maybe into the video. I think I can do that with if you give me some artwork.
Yeah, you can. You can edit it in.
Yeah, I think I know how to do that. So that's interesting. That's great. And yeah, I'm coming up for me, maybe even before the next time we go live, I might be in a different country, because my visa ends. I'm going to leave here January 6th. So it's getting to that time where I got to start figuring out flights and where I'm going to stay and all that.
How long do you have to go? How long do you have to be in Thailand for?
I'm going to stay 2 months.
So you have to stay 2 months in each place.
Yeah, but I come back to Bali most every time, because I like to surf here. So, and I'm pretty good buddies with. He was my teacher, but now he's just my friend. But he's the one that got me started, got me taught, and so I'm good with that. And I went up to Uluwatu the other day, which is like. Excuse me, the North Shore of, like the North Shore of Bali, like North Shore of Hawaii, but Bali's version. It wasn't a very big swell that day, but it was cool. I worked with some content, got some pretty cool content. So I really like that, and yeah, and then I think the next time I'm gonna. When my visa's up here, I'm thinking about the Philippines, because I want to surf Siargao. That's supposed to be pretty cool, and cheap living. I might even like stay in a surf hostel. Just fucking do it. You know
Totally
what I mean?
totally
I
get
don't
yourself
have any.
in. Yeah, dive right into this thing.
Yeah. Well, just you'll meet people and whatever, and a lot of digital nomads. Kind of what I want to get into a little bit as well. And I'd like to get this podcast rocking and rolling because we're going to talk about, lifestyles and cultures and foods and entertainment and things that we do here and things that you do where you go. And yeah, it's pretty cool. And I was doing some making some content, and I have this
Gimbal.
I have this gimbal, and this guy comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, dude," he's a surfer dude from Australia. He's like, "You got a drone out there?" And I go, "No, this is just a gimbal." And then I was showing him everything he does. Like, "Oh man, that's so cool." I'm like, "Well, did you surf today?" And he goes, "Yeah, I went out there." I said, "You gonna go out? Why don't you go out again? I'll surf you." And he's like, "No, I'm done for the day." But just like that, little things like that, a meeting, but got me really wanting to get a drone. So I watched a bunch of YouTubes on the drones, and they're cheap. And the one that I saw was made by the same company, DJI, size of your hand. It folds up literally like this big.
Incredible.
Comes with a strap. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Speaking of drones, and so what I'd like to do on our podcast is, because we have a lot of thoughts and sometimes differing thoughts on just basic life. So we're going to do some doom scrolling on X, usually on every podcast. And in the future, I still want us to get some guests, and we'll definitely have that going on too. So we can get some different guests. But let's take a look at X for the day and see what's got going on here. Okay. So this one's from Vivek Ramaswamy.
Love him.
So, yeah, he's pretty awesome. And he says 36 trillion in national debt. And the human mind can't really process that number because it's so high. So here's a thought experiment to completely pay back our national debt in $1 bills. You would need enough to line them up from the earth to the sun and back 18 times.
I don't know how much perspective that puts in for people. I mean, they don't even know how far the sun is.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, but it's crazy. But they got this omnibus bill, and for those of you at home, you can't see it, but Brian can see it. That's this bill, right? That they just gave them. And they expect them to sign this within 2 days, or they don't get to go home for Christmas. And they do it every year. They continue to kick the can down the thing, and they're like, "You're not going home until you sign this." They don't even read the shit. And it's just trillions and trillions and trillions. I mean, I don't know what. And I saw some memes where you got Elon Musk with the chainsaw just chopping this omnibus bill up because he's going to get in there and Doge and really start some things off. What are your thoughts on that?
On
Doge.
What? Bill?
On Doge.
What's Doge?
Doge is that Department of Government Efficiency.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think it's a long time coming. I think it's a long time coming, and people should be shitting because it's stuff like this that it's not. I don't wonder where the waste is. It's obvious. It's in all of these bills, and there's so much. $500,000 here, 5 million there, 10 million there seems so insignificant when the thing's $1 billion. But you add up 5 million, 10 million, 15 million, and you add it up over the last couple of years, it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions. So, yeah, I think that our debt is out of control. The number one thing we need to do in order to stop the growth of the debt is stop the spending. Then you can start working on paying the thing back. But right now, we just talk about how crazy the debt is, and the spending has not stopped whatsoever. It's like a fire hose.
Yeah.
It's turned on full bore, and everyone's like, we're drowning. Well, shut the water off. At a minimum, shut the water off so that we stop drowning, and then we can work on getting rid of the water. I have
and these Democrats,
more faith than ever that things are going to get turned around. Like, genuinely, the light, because most people that aren't paying attention or lightly paying attention have no clue what's in this bill. None.
No.
And if you really understood what was in it, and the trickery and the deception that they do by providing this bill that's thousands of pages, no one can read it, and you're expected to do it in 2 days. That's the whole issue right there. There's no professionalism. There's no way of really being able to analyze and be thoughtful. And that's what we voted these people to do, to make good, thoughtful decisions on our behalf. It's physically impossible to do that. And the whole thing is just filled with bad decisions, period. And so I can't wait for those guys to get in.
Huge government waste. And it's like, transgender studies in
what are we studying?
Transgender studies in Libya. Yeah. I mean, like, well, let's give them 10 million to help their schools in fucking Libya. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Not our problem.
Just stupid. And, they do it just like they do this. And the Democrats are really trying to ram this stuff in because they know come January 20 that this shit ain't gonna fucking be happening much. So hopefully, anyhow. Okay, another thing.
You know what? I say they skip Christmas. Big deal. It's one day, 24 hours. Fly your family in, fly your presents in, take your kids out to a steak dinner in Washington, and everybody plant their heels because we're 20 days away, we're 30 days away. And you know what? I had to make sacrifices in my life. And so what? You have to skip Christmas 1 year to get us to the new guard. And I wouldn't sign that thing. And that's the other thing. These guys who talk a big game and like, they're not going to do this and refuse to sign this. And then they just get leaned on a little bit. This is right or left. They leaned on a little bit. Like, they're going to take Christmas away from you. And they fold up like a fucking cheap lawn chair. Yeah. So there's no strength, there's no courage on either side. And how you win is by staying in the game and refusing to move. And that's what you got to do.
Yeah, we'll see how that turns out. I don't have much faith that it'll get done this time around, but I think some sweeping changes are going to happen January 20th. Okay, so here's an interesting story. So this one family horrified by a note that's on the menus, and I want to get your thoughts on this. This is what this one restaurant, I'm not really sure where it is. It says, we request any customers dining in with young children to keep noise at a reasonable level and to not let children run around the restaurant. It is dangerous as our staff are often carrying and walking around with hot food. Additionally, it's inconsiderate to the other diners. In order to look after both of our staff and our customers, we reserve the right to refuse service. It sounds like, and then you have of course, a liberal mom just all up in arms about this and has to post about it on X. But I wonder what your thoughts on that. What your thoughts is if you were a restaurant owner? Is this out of line, or you think this is right where it should be?
100% in alignment. 100%. Because of people like her that would allow her kid to run around and think that she has some right to allow her kid to do that. This law, this rule that the restaurant imposed, it didn't just come out of nowhere. It came
Right.
because of an issue. That's how a lot of these things happen. And they asked the
Right.
parent to, would you mind keeping your kid from screaming? Would you mind if your kid stayed in its seat? And they refused to listen. And so the restaurant had to implement a law that says we now have the right, and it's stated, to refuse service, because that's probably part of the law is they have to have a sign up that says we refuse the right or have the right
Reserve.
to refuse service depending on. And so, yeah, I think it's, again, I own the restaurant and I'm all about obviously serving the public, but it is still my restaurant. It's my decision to serve the food that I serve at the price that I serve. And if I don't want to serve screaming families that are interrupting the other people, 1000% have that right. We have these rules because of people like that.
Right. And so I don't know what style of restaurant this is, but they obviously felt the need. So it's not a kid's restaurant. And my theory is there's places for kids to go.
Take
Restaurants.
Take them to Playland.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Well, and there's a million other places. You can take them to like a BJ's or a TGI Fridays or something like that. I don't know what restaurant this is, but obviously you're right. There's a problem.
And it's not a Chuck E. Cheese, I can promise you that.
Right. Right.
Next.
Next topic. Putin says he's cured cancer.
I've heard.
Russia says it has developed a vaccine against cancer and will be rolled out to patients for free.
Well, we have said for years that we have a vaccine for cancer and we have a cure, but our medical facility, our medical industry is set up to not cure, but to take care of people that are sick. So we need you to have cancer. We need you to be sick in order to function within our medical system. We don't deal with healthy people. That makes our medical system go broke. We need you to be sick. And that's a whole other topic. I believe that in no time at all, we're going to see the United States go, well, we have one too. It's kind of like the race to the moon. Like, holy shit, I didn't know you guys were going to pop out there. And, we've had this vaccine for years, but we're not using it because people with cancer make us gazillions of dollars versus giving them a vaccine that might prevent all of this. So, yeah, and number one, I think we've had this thing for a while. I think we've had it for a while, especially the United States. And two, now that Russia has it, I think that we're going to start seeing more and more of it come out. And I wouldn't be surprised if the United States ends up saying, well, we have one too. And, it's better. But it costs, more than you can afford. And your insurance doesn't cover it. And all these other stipulations that come along with it. So we have it. Just getting your hands on it will be impossible.
What a game changer that would be, though. Because I believe everybody in America has been affected by cancer one way or another. They had a friend or a family member or somebody died out of it or somebody beat it or what have you. But what a game changer that would be, and what a perspective.
Well, Trump and Putin are friends. So we're probably going to, if we don't have one, we're going to get our hands on one. I can promise you that.
And, with RFK there, he might be like, you know what? You guys have had this for so long. Yeah, it's going to be interesting if it's true. That's the thing. Unfortunately, who knows? Who knows? And why he came out with it now, who knows also. But yeah, it's going to be good news. If good news all around if that comes into effect. All right, let's do one
Right.
more. What do you say?
Yeah, we got time for one more. I got a meeting coming up in 17 minutes.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me read you this story. Trumaine Carroll is a lifelong criminal and biological male. After California passed a law requiring inmates to be housed in prisons based on their, quote, gender identity, Carroll abruptly declared that he was a woman and got himself transferred to a woman's prison. Last January, he was accused of raping 2 women there. Now, a California judge says that the prosecutor must refer to Carroll by she, her pronouns. Presumably, witnesses will also have to testify that she assaulted them with her penis. California is a state at war with women and reality. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, you just knew it was going to happen. I mean, I hate to say it, but if I was going away for life, and you're going to house me with a bunch of gangbangers and murderers, I might be a woman too.
That are gonna rape you. That are gonna rape you. So you either get to be raped or you get to be the raper. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. Like who would be like, all right, spend the rest of my life with a bunch of dudes, and I have to worry about my life and my future health, and or California all of a sudden just says you whatever you identify as. I think I'm identifying as a she her.
I would
But
be.
look, yeah, what California's a shit show, and it's only getting worse. We'll see what kind of things, and we didn't even get into the to that CEO shooting. We didn't get into the other shootings in Wisconsin. It's crazy. It's a woman that wants to be a man or something. All these transgender shit is going on.
And did it with a pistol, not an AR, but did it with a common handgun that millions and millions and millions and millions of people own. So, you know, got to get rid of guns, but
yeah,
it's the guns or it's a mental health issue. And yeah, when are we going to realize
it's
that
gun
it's
gun violence. It's gun violence. It's not criminal violence. When you get in a DUI accident, it's vehicle violence and not fucking criminal violence.
Right.
Like it's so it's just stupid. It's stupidity, and it's for whatever reason or another, it's the left running their stupid agenda because you got people crying out about this transgender youth shooting people who's already mentally ill, shooting people. I guess killed 3, and not a word about the CEO that got shot, and no outrage about that.
Well, as a matter of fact, there's a little bit of heroism with the guy that shot the CEO. Like,
yeah,
people are like, kind of siding with him.
Yeah. It's he made his gun on a 3D printer and the silencer, which I don't understand how that.
Except one thing. McDonald's showed his face.
Well, yeah, like, and why would you stay in New Jersey? Because this was like 3 or 4 days later. It's like, get the hell out of Dodge. Go to the West Coast.
Well,
the
he
East
thought
Coast,
he thought he committed a perfect crime. He thought he committed a perfect crime.
It's pretty tough in daylight, anywhere. Big Brother's watching you, and we didn't get into the drones and all that. But we'll have enough. Well, I'll let you get set up for your meeting, and this was a good kind of introduction, and maybe we'll pump out a few of these so when we go live, there'll be 6 or 7 podcasts that they can work on. There's always something going on that we can talk about. So, well, I think that was good. I think we still have a lot of things to talk about our lives, and we still have a lot of things, and obviously the news is going on all the fucking time. So,
Always something to talk about.
oh, also, I didn't get to tell you about Sammy Sosa. You remember Sammy Sosa and
Home run hitter, steroid boy. Yeah.
Well, he's been bleaching himself, and he's white. It's crazy. You got to look at the pictures on online. But he lives in Dubai, and he doesn't
Everybody
care.
hates
He's like
white people, but everybody wants to look like us. That bleaching over
all
in
over
Asia
here.
is huge.
All over here.
Huge.
Every cream, every lotion has whitening agents in it. It's crazy. Whatever.
Not happy with who you are. Want to be a whitey.
Yeah. Why don't you sign us out of here?
Well, hey, we appreciate you guys listening to our first podcast. We really do. Be patient with us. We're just getting rolling on this, and it'll get tighter, and it'll be better as we go. But none of this, we're not growing without you. So I need a huge favor. Hit subscribe and share this. Share it with at least one person, and just stay with us. Stay with us. You won't be disappointed. We really appreciate the listeners today, and it's going to be an awesome podcast. So I really appreciate you. We're signing off, and we'll be back soon. Global Porch Podcast.
Later.
See you guys.
Later.